Today's Hiwatt soundbite, we're diving a little deeper into the vocoder by setting one up and having a listen. Okay, so for the purpose of today's session, let's just simplify our understanding of what a vocoder is. It is simply a device that allows us to modulate one sound with another sound. Another way you could describe it is a device that allows us to take the character of one sound and apply it to another sound. That's probably a more accurate description of what a vocoder is. A device that allows us to take the character of one sound and apply it to another sound. And the best way that we can go about understanding that is to just jump right into a session and start using a vocoder and hearing what it actually does. All right, so for today's example, I'm going to be using my Electrics Warp Factory to create this vocoder effect. Now, this particular device is no longer manufactured and kind of hard to find, but the point is what we're talking about and what we're showing as an example would apply to any vocoder out there, even software versions. So whatever vocoder you can get your hands on, and most likely initially that might just be a software version, that's totally cool. You just got to try and get your hands on them and start experimenting. Okay, so in order to create this vocoder effect, we know we need two things. We need a carrier signal, that is a signal to feed into the stereo input of this, and we need a modulating signal, one that we can feed the formant input. So for today's example, I think we should just keep it really simple and look at one of the most basic vocoder effects ever, and that is just your voice affecting a string sound. So today's example, our carrier signal will just be a simple string sound on a virtual synth that I've got, a CS80. Nothing fancy, but honestly, that's the perfect kind of sound to feed into a vocoder, like a cheesy string sound. It's awesome. And then we need a modulator, which is going to be this microphone and my voice. And now I've got that coming into Pro Tools on a channel, just like this. And I've got a pre-fader sending this voice to the formant input of my vocoder. So with all of that in place, let's engage the vocoder and play a chord and then do a little talking into the microphone, and you're going to see quickly what a vocoder does. We are vocoding. It's Sunday, and we're having a good time in the studio. So you see what's happening. Nothing actually comes out of a vocoder until you send your modulating signal into it. Get your mouth nice and close to the microphone and play around with diction and moving your voice, because it seems really silly, but it's exactly what makes a vocoder sound good. Like if I go, I'm like super over exaggerating my voice and the of my voice, but that's what makes a vocoder sing true and sound so good. So I hope this session helps you understand a little bit more about how a vocoder works and the real world application of one. And just know that if you throw a vocoder in your studio, you're going to have a total blast, because I mean, there's no limit to what you can do with these crazy things. Well, thank you for sitting in on today's session, and I encourage you to please leave a comment or by all means share a topic that we can do a whole session on. And if you like today's session, please consider subscribing to my channel.